Hello YouTubers, VFox here. Since you have given me positive feedback after reviewing Pepper Ann, I decided to tackle another show, just to see if this is what I should be doing. Well, there was a show I stumbled across recently called Tara Duncan. It was basically a TV show that aired for only 26 episodes, to my knowledge, and discontinued, just like Pepper Ann, for no reason at all. But, however, it does continue in the book series that it's based on, along with the comic translations, or I'm guessing comic translations anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm only going to be sticking to the animated series in this review. So if there's anything that I have left out, just leave a comment below, tell me what I've missed, and let's start off the review with a little bit of history. Now, first off, who is this character? Well, it turns out that Tara Duncan is actually the heroine of a best-selling novel series under the same name, I assume, that's written by author Sophie Audouni-Mamikonian. I don't think I said that name correctly. And also had like a comic-based versions of the same book series in many different places in Europe and the U.S. partially. The U.S. translation was written by William Rodarmer. And let's see, there were 2 volumes that he had written based on the book series, on 2 of the books actually. Volume 1, Tara Duncan and the Spellbinders, was released in June 2012, I believe, by Sky Pony Press. And Volume 2, Tara Duncan and the Forbidden Book, was released a year later in January. And apparently the best-selling novel series was such a hit, an animated series premiered in France and aired in the US in 2010 on the Girls' Rule division of Kabillion. The series focuses, obviously enough, on Tara, who is a young girl who discovers she is a spellbinder, possessing magic powers. Her adventures begin when she is 12 and eventually take her to a place called Otherworld and Beyond. Interesting. Magic is present in this world, as are evil wizards, giants, vampires, dwarves, elves, sirens, and 2-headed business administrators. What? Anyway, joining her in her adventures are Earthling Fabris, some kind of... Okay, honestly, I don't know who Fabris is. And then there's some kind of horse called Gallant, which is basically a Pegasus ripoff. A half-elf named Robin, a licensed thief in training named Caliban Cal Del Salon, a shape-shifting princess named Gloria Davil, nicknamed Sparrow, and a female warm-hearted but short-tempered dwarf named Fafnir. Mamikonian so far has written 11 volumes in French. Rodarmer has translated 2 of the original series books in the series into English, and also there were Japanese and Korean and also Italian translations at the same time. Now, to the show's credit, I do think it's amazing in just about every way possible, and it's really hard for me to pick just a specific episode or specific set of episodes, since there were only 26 before at least the US version got canceled. I guess, I don't know. So the problem there is that it didn't last very long, and so basically what I'm going to do now is just move on to the characters and give my overall thoughts. Basically, we've got Tara Duncan, the protagonist of the series, who is a young girl, discovers her magic powers at age 12. In the original French version, she's voiced by Céline Melot, and in the US translation version, she is voiced by Saffron Henderson. Next, we got Caliban Del Salon, aka Cal, Cal is a licensed thief in training and also the info breaker of the group. He is voiced by Tony Marot in the original French version, Leslie Zun in the Polish translation, and voice acting veteran Matt Hill in the U.S. translation. You may recognize Matt Hill's voice from such shows like Transformers Armada, and as the voice of Ed from Cartoon Network's Ed, Edd n Eddy. Next up, and finally, for right now, we've got Gloria Devil, aka Sparrow, close friend of both Tara and Cal, and a shape-shifting princess from Outer World and beyond. She's voiced by Isabelle Volpe in the original French version, Monica Kwiatkowska Desjer in the Polish translation, sorry if I couldn't pronounce that name properly, and by Kelly Metzger in the U.S. translation. Overall, I think that these people do an amazing job as each of these characters. They bring the great personalities, I think just about the right personalities, to each specific character. Overall, I think Tara Duncan is probably one of the best, and I mean the absolute best, young heroines of, or what should be, even today's generations. Because, she's kind of like the next best female character since Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. In fact, her character traits are similar to that of Katara's. Strong, motherly, caring, and warm-heartedly. That's how it is. And as for Cal, I'd say in a way, he's kind of like Sokka. Sparrow, it's kind of hard for me to say. Hey, I think she has a little bit of Katara, and I think some other bits of her have like Ty Lee and Ty Lee and what was that other girl's name? Sokka's girlfriend. Suki, that's what it is. Suki of the Kyoshi Warriors. And I know it sounds weird that I'm making references to the Avatar series, but this series reminds me a whole lot of Avatar as far as the characters and their traits and their personalities go. And so far, the ones that I've said so far make sense even to me. And now for my final thoughts on the film, starting with the beckoning question: how does Tara Duncan hold up as a cartoon show or an animated show? Well, let's see. We've got smooth animation, likable characters, decent narrative, some pretty cool fight sequences, or action sequences, I should say. Never mind. Decent music, a nice soundtrack, and overall, I would give Tara Duncan a perfect score of 10 out of 10. I really like it. Not to mention, the company that made this show happens to be Moonscoop, who, of course, was known for giving the world the creation of Code Lyoko, which is another underrated show that I may or may not review sometime in the future. Note to self: review Code Lyoko. But in all seriousness, I think everything that I've said so far matches up with how well the show works, and it's got some nice slapstick moments as well. But of course, it's especially one of those animated shows where there's a moral and a lesson that you have to learn from each of the episodes. What little there were, but still. Let's see, what else is there? From what I know, a few other third-party companies who participated in the show's creation were DQ Entertainment. DQ did not mean Dairy Queen, by the way. CNC, and Disney, just to name a few. That's right, Disney participated as a third-party company for the show. In fact, this was one of the very earliest shows to appear on Disney Channel, or one of the more recent, I guess, as of 2010, I don't know. Though only a measly 26 episode in, the show was canceled the same year it aired. Such a shame. But most likely it's out on DVD. And if anything else, you can watch it on Kabillion.com, or you could even watch whatever you can find related to the show on YouTube. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. One thing Tara Duncan definitely nailed, and I probably mentioned this earlier, or maybe I didn't, is that it did the same thing that shows like Pepper Ann and The Weekenders did. It teaches a valuable lesson in each episode. In my case, it's definitely another plus. And if anything else, one thing I want to congratulate it on is the soundtrack of the entire show. Or in this case, just its awesome theme song. Trust me, the theme song alone is utterly fantastic. So if you ever run across this show, or see it on DVD, or if it's just a translation of the book series, or if there's anything related to it, don't pass it by. If you're into stuff like Witch, Winx Club, Harry Potter, etc., I can't recommend this series enough. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next review, whenever that is. Until next time, peace out, YouTubers. This is VFox, signing off. Hasta la vista.